So I had a customer's laptop where you couldn't get into the touchpad control panel. It would crash with an error about ETDUI.cpl and no other info, and reinstalling the touchpad drivers didn't help. There wasn't any newer drivers on Acer's website, and Elan Tech, who provide the touchpad driver, don't do OEM drivers, unlike Synaptex, where you can just download it from their website. So I first attempted to track down what was causing the crash by using Process Monitor, which is incredibly useful, and pretty much most of the time I can work out what's causing a crash and then fix it. So I can find a registry key that's missing, or a file which it is incompatible or is getting stuck with. However, with this one I got stuck very quickly and gave up, which is a bit of a shame. So I couldn't work out which file it was that was causing it to crash. So the next thing is you find the last operation it did where it was accessing its own settings, so an Elan Tech settings file or an Elan Tech registry entry, and you'll see very shortly I come across the registry entry, which it isn't the trigger of the crash, but it pointed me in the right direction to be able to switch off the tapping, and the tapping was the problem. So it was the standard customer complaint of, when I'm typing it, the mouse or the cursor jumps back to the beginning of the document and starts typing at the beginning of the document, and that's almost always because the touchpad has tapping switched on. When they're typing on the laptop's keyboard, it clicks basically. So they've clicked at the beginning of the document or the beginning of the email, start typing, and then they accidentally brush the touchpad, which then goes, you've clicked, and then puts the cursor right back to the beginning of the document, and then they carry on typing and everything becomes a mess. So there's the tapping enable entry on the screen. Jump to it in registry, change the key to a 0 instead of a 1. I then also decided to, I think I tested it at this stage, it doesn't apply until you reboot, but also there's multiple copies of this tap enable registry key in the registry. So as well as looking for that one, it's a good idea to copy the name of the key, go to the root of the registry and search for any kind of entry you can find and change all of those to a 0. And obviously looking through the registry list, there's lots of other settings which you could change directly in the registry, even if the control panel program won't load, which is very convenient. But yeah, as I was saying, a very common complaint for touchpads is, it's jumping back when I'm typing, and that's because tapping is on. It's fine with this laptop because turning tapping off is fine because it has a physical set of buttons below the touchpad, which is actually the best way for most touchpads to be. It's really irritating when they go in the Apple direction or the newer Dell's direction, where the buttons are integrated into the touchpad, or you even don't have a physical kind of press down on the touchpad, so the only option is tapping, and then it's basically very tedious. I whenever possible try and avoid all those kind of one slab touchpads because they're just so generally quite awful. The best ones are the Apple ones, and they're still very annoying to use. So yeah, just go through the registry, find all the tap_enable entries, or if you're changing some other setting like scrolling, find them all. All the ones which have a number, so here there's some kind of reference to a driver file, but that you can skip past. But if it's got a 0 or a 1 or possibly a 7, which I've seen some of them having, change those to whatever value you think you need. As I say, there's many entries in the registry as well. There we go, that's finished changing everything in the registry. And rather than shutting down normally, I want to force a shutdown. So shutdown, well, you can see the command there, shutdown space -R space -F space -T space and then a number, which forces a shutdown rather than shutting down normally where the driver might rewrite the old registry settings back to registry. Forcing a shutdown means it can't do that.